Hi guys, just give you an update as to what's happening with the Camaro. It's been a couple of weeks, how my progress is going with the wiring. So if you just hang on a sec, I'll turn you around. Here she is. Just thought I'd give her a wash. We've had a few problems with bats here, and let me show you the size of these things. They're everywhere. Look. And they make an absolute mess and cause a lot of damage to paint. And yes, I've got to cover her up. I've just been working on it so much. Anyway, got a lot of water on it. Okay, so what have I done? Installed the under bonnet lights again here. Created a new loom up here and started installing back the cowl lights, but in a manner that I'm a lot more happier with. So I've got rid of the mechanical gauges which are here and the leads coming through, and I'll put obviously grommet and bind all this up. Main reason is the damage it was causing to the bonnet every time you opened it. In the process of just finalising all the wiring, and then I've added the electrical sensor down here for the oil pressure gauge. Started doing the wiring, completing the wiring for the alternator. So I've rerouted that, taken out all the old system which went directly to the source directly into the starter motor. Install all the factory stuff, the wiring loom back in. Now we're working on this side over here. Started again installing factory components back in here, just so that all the colour coding's right. That's all fan relay stuff which I've got to tidy up for these fans that are in here, if you can see that. It's quite a big breathing system, cooling system in here, as you can expect. Street driven car, lots of horsepower, lots of heat. Alright, let's show you what's inside. Alright, so what have I done in here? I've gone through and just heat protected all of the console here. This was a big weakness of this car. With what I've got underneath the bonnet, all the heat would just radiate up through the floor tunnel. I already have protection underneath of this, the matting, but I've gone through this area, didn't have it, and I've covered most of the console brackets and moulding where there was weakness coming up through that. Done all the wiring there. We've got the restored items back in the dash, so I've done the clock and all of this. Under the dash here is looking quite good now. We've got all the standard colour coding back in and hooking up, so it's almost ready. And this is my next challenge. That's all got to come out, all the wiring's got to go, and that will lead me to the relay box which I'm about to show you. Okay, so this is just a bit of a temporary workbench here at the moment. I've just been working on this. It's around about 80%. So what we've got in here is 4 relays, but it's actually, we've got another one here to go here. The 5th relay, they're all Bosch 5-pin relays. I've just got it hooked up to show you what it's like when it's powered on, and obviously that cover's on. Okay, so you don't see it under the dash, any of the light. The light's there just to show you that all the fuses are active. So if I was to pull a fuse out, the light goes out. Okay, so basically that's at a glance You can see that's just obviously it's self-explanatory. In the past, I mean, when you're stuck out in the middle of nowhere and you haven't got a light inside the car, it really does help to have just simple things like that. Underneath, it's just a normal fuse box. Make everything neat. All I've got to do is add the components, the wires, to provide a hot wire to fuel pump, to MSD system, to the MSD coil, and to anything else that I'm planning on hooking up to this. So why? So what I've done is tried to make the system as easy to operate as possible, and I've kept all of the main wiring standard now. So the car's gone back to standard colour code. So if there's any issues that are needing fixed, this is what I mean. Look, that's just happened. Look at that. Look at the size of it. Just washed the car. Anyway, so I've now got all of the wiring and schematics. So anybody that wants to work on the car, I just give them the folio. It has all of the schematics. You just go through the car. Everything's in a standard spot, so it's factory. I'm just a bit over having cars that have been modified with wiring, and nobody can work on the cars. This is all about simplicity. Then what I've done is created a separate system for all the add-on stuff, and that's why I've got that fuse box there with the relays, and that's so that I can keep all of my accessory stuff, high performance stuff, on a totally separate system. And that's very easy to manage because it just brings the power in from the engine bay into the cabin, and you can work on it from there. So there you go, that's my little update. Sorry I can't start the car, I'd love to, but that will be in the next week, I hope. Okay, so it just gives you an idea. Car's up in the air, off the ground. Working on the starter motor that's underneath it with the wiring for that. Once that's done, it can come back down again, and it can we can do a cold start. And I'll get rid of this effing shit off the car. I don't believe that. Not even 5 minutes. Jesus. Ugh.